right, so we're on the dirty fish. Sparkly, yet dirty.
So here we are, as Jimbo said, this is the good ride after dark. We've got the Stone dirty fish, 3 boards of similar shape and camber profile. We've got the barrel, okay? We've got the minigun. The minigun's a 60. This is a 52, and the barrel's a 47. So they all kind of feel like they bump down similar in size. This was my favorite of the 3. Just to throw it out there. I just love this size. I love the slashability, but I love how all of these boards had this, like especially for flat to rocker, had this kind of powerful, gunny, down the line kind of feel that really had a good drive to them. Even though they could slash, and you can have fun and you can play around, but they felt like they could get serious if you wanted to. And we had a good time with that. But let's get to the flex. And you can see it's a medium stiff, bordering on stiff flex. It's really got some oomph to the core here, and it's got sparkles. Camber profile, you can see it's just kind of flat. Maybe a touch of early rise before the tail, but a good bit before the nose. Check the on the table review. You can see a much better camber profile. But it had this stability and this consistency throughout all conditions that I feel like anybody could ride this and know what it's going to do in hard snow to powder and everything in between. It's always going to have that same kind of personality. It's always going to be very stable, not very catchy, very easy to 1 foot and very easy to flat base. And I just feel like its personality definitely has a little more oomph than you would think for a 152. Made in Europe too, kind of cool. As far as edge hold goes, what did you guys think?
I didn't get an opportunity to do too much steepness on it, so the edge hold for any spicy condition, I'm not really sure. It's flat, so you kind of expect it to hold a little less than camber. I'm sure like the other fish that it would still do fine on medium, crazy steep stuff, but for any spicy conditions, this is not the board for that.
Yeah, and for me, I was just like, on the hard snow the other day, I was pretty impressed with how it gripped. Yeah. I will say one thing though, this board kind of sucked when we got it. It had just way too much structure all the way through the board, especially right here in the edges, and the edges didn't seem detuned, so we got it detuned, and this would have been a pretty bad review, but but we got it detuned. Yeah, I had a moment where I just wanted to take this thing home, but you could feel, you could just feel the structure of the base holding on the snow and not letting go. And so when I got it detuned, this board lit up, and it was a lot of fun. And I think it's got it does feel powerful. The turn initiation wasn't as quick as I thought it would be.
It's not aggressive, but it has good initiation.
Yeah. Maybe if they dial back the structure even more and we detune this even more, the turn initiation would be a little easier, a little... maybe a touch more quick and playful. But the way it is now, these had some really good, they like this, you're not going like this all day with this,
it's not
even though it's a
aggressive,
52.
It's a surfy board.
This thing's got some oomph to it, especially for what we see is just basically flat to some early rise. But anyways, so all in all, the turning experience and the carving, I thought was really fun, way better than I thought for it being flat.
Right.
But way more turning like this, and then just powering a slash, than loose, hard.
Not a big turn.
Yeah,
slash.
it didn't those,
definitely.
a shorter, a shorter, like across the hill kind of radius.
No.
Then you guys
bigger, more developing turn.
Yeah.
Medium radius turn.
Yeah, it liked a little bit more of a longer drawn out S turn, which you wouldn't think for a 52.
Right.
So, speed, thing could bomb for a 52.
It can go fast. Yeah.
It's not the fastest sport in the world. It's not going to blow your mind. But if you sit and think about the fact that you're on a 52 when you're pointing it, you'll be like, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
You'd expect that out of something longer than that.
Yes. And the uneven terrain, yeah, I mean, it's pretty stiff and small.
It's stiff and small, but it's not going to cut through too much.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of bounce around a little bit like it did today.
I thought they did a good job, like with some, like putting in some dampening properties. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a chattery mess.
No,
but
it wasn't chattering. It just got bounced around.
Yeah, it's just small and a little bucky. It's definitely better than the barrel.
Yeah.
But way behind the minigun. If you want something to kind of power through shit and over, this isn't bad powering around. But again, it's not like an around the mogul kind of turner. You kind of have to set a line, find that that area where the moguls
choose
meet.
wisely.
Yes, yes, Indiana Jones.
But not that specific. Like, it has some gray areas. It's just, you can't just go down the hill. You just have to pick, you look 2 turns ahead. And you're like, I'm going to go there. That looks really good for this board because you're on this board and you have an idea of what you want to do with this board.
Yeah. And with powder, though, we didn't get any. We're not going to get any. It's late spring. Look at us. We're about to start working on our base, all of us. Jesus. You and I are
I should go put on my tank top.
Normal here. Oh. Little scary.
Ooh.
Oh.
Get the dollar bills.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what's good. Now you know, good right after dark. Yeah. But, I just have a feeling, though, it doesn't seem like super far set back on board, but there's a lot of, especially on side cut, but on board, it doesn't seem too far set back either. There's a lot of tail.
There's tail.
But there is also a lot more nose, especially so than the barrel. But I'll bet you it would be a little more slashy in powder. Just like a lot of boards, they can be pretty aggressive on groomers.
You get into the white room really easy on this guy.
Yes.
The sparkles will go well together.
Yes. A little black on white sparkle. That's some really cool contrast. I like it. And as far as park goes, I think you could do it. There's so many guys who like to ride like a board like this in the park these days. And I know if you're that kind of guy, you're probably not watching the good ride because we're pretty average. But I think a lot of people could ride park with this, but it's more of a directional kind of thing. It's more for like shock factor to show how good you are as a rider, as opposed to like actually, but I could see some people having some fun. But overall, I think it's a fun board. I think it could appeal to a somebody looking for a quiver ride, but also more so being like a daily driver than, let's say, the barrel. I know a lot of people who could daily drive on the barrel, but I think more people would be happier driving the dirty fish every day.
Just on all these little fishes, it was definitely interesting to have a different binding angle set up.
Oh yeah.
Having the positive angles on the back foot, it's kind of a mind blow. You just blow your mind of changing from your typical either duck stance or even just directional stance to a forward lean angle, and all of a sudden you can like lean your back foot forward into your other leg and just kind of like crouch into a barrel and just get that really cool low slash in, whereas it takes a lot more effort to do that on a normal stance.
Yeah, that was fun. We wanted to set this up how Stone wanted us to set it up. So I set it up plus 9 or 12 to, I didn't set it up. Actually, Jimbo did. Thanks, buddy.
Good job.
Yeah. He was screwing hard in there. And we had, I think, 27 or 30 in the front.
27 on the front.
and it really made that board fun. And we did it right on
9 in the
reference
back.
stance. Yep, +9.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably ride it regular, but it was just these kind of boards just kind of opens up that little slash factor or barrel factor.
Yeah, I think you could totally zero this out, or like go 0 back foot,
Right.
or even go like -3 or -6
Yeah,
if
you
you wanted
could.
to. And it's not going to like shit the bed on you and start acting weird. But I think it really shines in the stance width and angles they recommend. So there you have it, the Dirty Fish.
Dirty.